Nairobi, and then you have somewhere you can call home in the metropolitan of Nairobi. That's why I feel it is very important as Madaraka Homes to bring you right on site, Juja Crescent Gardens.
Okay, so that means you're in Juja sub-county.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Juja sub-county is one of the few counties in Kiambu County, and that's why Charity had to bring us here. Now, there's this kind of, I don't know whether it's a wave or it's what is there on ground, that so many people are coming to Juja. Why is it that Juja is a hot cake at the moment?
Amazing. Well, Juja, as we speak right now in Kiambu County, it's one of the most affordable places as we speak.
Right.
Then the fact that accessibility has majored in this area, concentrating on the Thika Super Highway.
Right.
So there's no place along Thika Road you cannot settle down. But Juja, being the fact that it's affordable, I think it's the best place to invest in. Even the climate, I think you can see, despite the sun there's
breeze.
that breeze you can feel, calling it home.
Right.
I think it's just amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, despite the fact that we're in Juja or in Kiambu County, there has been this, challenge of where do I get genuine land? Now, maybe you can tell our viewers how is one able to identify genuine property, and more so, what do you think are the most risky ways of approaching land business? Oh,
great. Well, in land business, most of the people have really encountered conmanship.
Right.
So much is happening. People issuing double title deeds. Well, we have concentrated much on making sure that the faces are small enough so that the first client to invest doesn't take so much time before they get their title deed.
Okay.
Again, we encourage our people, our investors, make sure before you invest, you do your own due diligence.
Right.
People are avoiding those expenses of the advocates doing their due diligence.
Right.
That's why you're finding yourself in this scam of buying land that is already that is not genuine. But as Madaraka Homes, we are making sure that within 45 days you have your title deed with your name, and you can start your development as usual. Unlike so many other companies, you buy and you have to wait for a whole year.
Right.
So we are changing this norm of having land that you have not even done due diligence, land that you're not even sure about. So transferring of title deeds is becoming a scam, but we have changed that by making our faces small in that it will only take 45 days for you to get your land and to get your title and move on to your development.
How are you making sure that these people do their due diligence, or rather they are more vigilant when it comes to this?
We have actually gone a notch higher by hiring or getting our own advocate.
Wait,
so
now before you get to, sorry for cutting you short,
Yes.
I'm talking on behalf of this person who is here, because these people are very skeptical when it comes to land investment. You may do it. I cannot bank on, me being a buyer, I cannot bank on your advocate. What is this? Maybe in form of civic education or creating awareness that people should not assume due diligence on their part before we come to you.
Great. I was just talking about we've made it easy for you, but as well, we are not rigid. You can also do your own due diligence. You can use your own lawyers. We are not limiting you to doing that. So that the main thing here is to ensure that your confidence is fully guaranteed. That when you're joining Madaraka Homes, you're joining it with, ni wewe kujitakia. It's not that you've been pushed to do that. Thus, we are, once you contact anyone from Madaraka Homes, you're given an option. Will you use our 10-year experienced advocate, or you can come on board with yours? That is your choice.
Now, because we've got so many people who will not come to Madaraka for obvious reasons. They have their preferences. Others cannot reach you and all that. I want us to speak to somebody not affiliated now to you. You as an expert and the expertise and the experience you have. We get to tell this person what is this thing that they must do or they must avoid at the very preliminary stage of having the property investment journey.
Awesome. Well, are you an investor there? I would really encourage you to know the processes of acquiring a property. From the grassroots of identifying the land, get to understand the history of this land,
Right.
and that is the process that most of the people avoid. And bearing in mind that obviously it's costly to go through the process,
Right.
but whatsoever, it's in a nutshell, it's very important for you to know from from grassroots that you're supposed to know the process of acquiring land.
Right.
Don't just hear someone is selling land and you run after that. Just take your time, get to understand the whole process from identification, from
Right.
the demarcations of the plots, are they beaconed, are they fenced, is the mother title, does it belong to the people who are selling to you?
Right.
So take your time to know the process.
Thank you very much. Now we come back to Juja, where we are now, and there's this narrative that a place is not developed, as many would call it out there. And I would kindly request you to make us understand what is this thing that attracts, development, in that any place that is developed today was once bare land or there was no settlement, and people still believed in that place. What are these factors that bring people to develop a place?
Oh, beautiful. So bearing in mind that a long time ago we used to depend on national government to bring developments in our regions,
Right.
or in our county levels. But because of devolution, money is going to every county to do infrastructural developments, which has actually made it possible for anyone to invest any part of this country. So number one, you're supposed to look at the accessibility.
Right.
Is the place you want to invest, is it accessible? How easy is it for you to get there? So the roads are very important. Another thing is the security.
Right.
Well, you at times realize nowadays we have so many patrols. Why? Because the government has ensured that every region the security is reinforced.
Right.
Also, when checking on why to invest in a certain region, you also check the concentration of the government.
Yes.
The government is really checking out on housing, property, and all that.
Right.
So the question is, why would you wait for an apartment to be placed here so that you can buy land when it has appreciated? Just imagine yourself, buying it right now, and the next minute it appreciates.
Okay.
Maybe something happens or
Right.
a development takes place. You can be able to sell your land in a higher price or something. Yeah.
And of course, I'll be skeptical in investing somewhere because of you lad business people who keep telling us there's either a proposed bypass or SGR inapitia hapo. That's one of the reasons. How is one able to speculate so well and get it right where government development programs or projects are?
Okay, in the first place, our project here, Crescent Gardens, we can see around us the steamer are just karibu. You look at things like electricity. Right. Is the water available? Some basics that for sure when you imagine of settling in a certain area, you easily access some of these things. Right. Another thing, around here there are schools. Somewhere there is an international school or maybe hospitals. For sure, the government must look into developing that area, right. And especially when it comes to roads. And with that, Juja Crescent Gardens, it's just neighboring the upcoming bypass, which is connecting to Garissa Road. So in terms of speculating if that region is going to grow or is going to appreciate in value, right. You look at things like electricity. Is electricity so far away? You look at availability of water. Is it roads, are they accessible? Okay. You also look at the neighborhood. Is the neighborhood busy? Right. So there's some things you can look. Kuna pale unaweza angalia upate ni kichaka kabisa, but when it comes to Juja, it is obvious. The Speakers per Highway is just a few minutes away from here.
Thank you. And Charity is still insisting that Juja is a hot cake. And I don't want to judge, but go out there and do your research, do your research and get to understand exactly where Juja stands when it comes to government development and also devolution and the effects of the same. Don't go away, because after this short break, we'll be right back with more.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Hey!
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Tika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, tika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
With GoTV bringing you the best international football, the hottest WWE superstars,
Are you surprised?
and brand new episodes of your favorite local and international series, you don't want to miss a mega march.
Acknowledge me.
Refresh, no stress, get more. Yes.
So stay or get connected and get amazing entertainment all March long. With GoTV. Love it.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Realtor. And could you be having any query, any question, or any concern about land, and especially in Juja? Direct that question to our Facebook page, that's the Realtor TV 47. And of course, as usual, I'll be directing it or redirecting it to the concerned person, because as I've always told you, I'm not an expert. Mine is just to bring you someone who is doing it and someone who can assist us, who can be of assistance rather to us. And remember, informing, educating, and more so updating. And that's why we are at Juja, just to update you. I'm not alone. Charity is back here. And karibu tena.
Thank you.
Tuendelee na kutujuza. Informing us ni kutujuza. Karibu. And I know these people, if I'm not wrong, statistics have shown that quite a good number, perhaps 50%, and I confirm that 50% of people who are potential land buyers are very skeptical. And because you're here, Charity, I would love you to help us know what are the do's and the don'ts for anyone intending to buy land at any place or any corner of this nation.
Great. Thanks again for this opportunity. And why many people are skeptical, it's because we Africans, human beings, we are used of shortcuts. We don't like kuchoka sana. And that is the reason as to why you find yourself making mistakes. But one thing I would encourage you to always do before you buy a property.
Right.
Your due diligence personally is very important. Number two, you're supposed, before you buy a property, make sure you visit the site.
Right.
Make sure you know what exactly you're buying. Land is an intangible asset, fine, but that's why it means you have to go and visit the site. Then again, you're supposed to verify the mother title of the land you're buying. Is it verifiable? Is it a title deed that belongs to the owner or the person who is selling to you the land?
Right.
Again, you're supposed to also have a sales agreement document. The buyer and the seller, the person who is buying the land and the person who is selling to you, you're supposed to have a binding document so that in case of anything, up to as you wait for the title, you can use it against the person who is selling to you land that is not available.
Right.
The don'ts that you're not supposed to do, Mr. Robert. I talked about the don'ts. I didn't say that.
No, exactly. We can combine.
We can combine, right. Yeah. So another thing is you're supposed to be able to know why are you buying this land, the reasons as to why you want to buy this land.
Wow.
For instance, many of the times you are not sure of what you need to do with the land, so you find yourself buying land that for the wrong purposes. So get to know the purpose as to why you're buying that land, and with that, it will direct you to the exact land or property you need to buy.
Right.
So with that, you'll never go wrong when it comes to investing in property, and it will reduce a lot of trust issues.
Right.
It will build your confidence when you do it yourself.
Right.
Yes, so due diligence is important.
Due diligence, and I believe this a terminology we have used on this show over and over again, but again even today is still coming out so strongly. And I want to ask Charity one question that maybe will help you and I. There are these people who are totally ignorant about due diligence, but because of the campaigns conducted and done by you people, these people just get into it without any suspicion. So how are they assisted, or how do you stand in to bridge that gap of ignorant people who are duped or who lose their money along the way?
Great. One thing we are ensuring to bridge the gap of ignorance when it comes to buying property, or when it comes to investment. Investment is a long-term asset, or rather it's something that should actually be saving you for the future. It's something that should give you more happiness than the opposite. So what we are doing to ensure, we build confidence with our clients. As I mentioned earlier, we are ensuring that we invest on the legal team. The legal team helps us in hastening the understanding of the owner of the land. They help us in their capacity, in their field. They help us to do due diligence, to do a good history check on the specific property you're about to buy. So that one for sure we've made it easy for our clients. That's why you realize most of the clients, they don't have time to do their due diligence. So at our capacity, we've bridged that gap by giving confidence to our clients, and also giving you day-to-day updates on what we are doing, making sure that our titles are not taking so long. So by so doing, within a month or so, you have your title deed. There's no need to keep on kuvurutana for waiting for your title deed. So with that, we are breaching that issue of you bought land and you didn't get your title deed, by making that it takes the shortest time possible for you to get your document. That is the title deed.
Okay.
Yes.
And by this time, I believe we are getting some information, quite educative, quite informative from Charity. And Charity is telling us that we can avoid all the, all the challenges that have been there in the industry, and especially in land business, because that's where she comes from. And Charity, I appreciate your light, the light you're shedding to our viewers. And maybe one more question in that light. How do you help someone who has lost money, or rather who has lost hope to invest in this because of money they lost? How are you able to rebuild the confidence that we can still buy property, and especially land?
Great. In the first place, I'm so sorry. I feel so sorry for people who've lost money when they are trying to seek for property or somewhere to settle down. But again, I want to encourage the viewers or the investors. If, for instance, you are caught up by such a mess, it is not too late. It is never the end. Remember, everything you're doing today, whatever business you're doing today, you're doing it focusing on the future. So the fact that we cannot avoid the investment bit, the fact that we cannot not avoid, bringing, or laying a good foundation for our generations. I encourage you to and make sure that you're sure about the company that you're investing with. You're sure about the person who is selling to you the property. So by so saying, I mean that I'm still going back to the concept of due diligence. Ensure that you have full confidence with the person who is selling for you the property, because at the end of the day, buying property is like securing your future. So we cannot avoid that. So we apologize for those people who have lost land, but I would love to encourage you and tell you that there are many companies who are doing it in a legit way, genuinely, and therefore just keep on encouraging yourself and build a home for your generations.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nilo wanasema kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa ugali, kupika ugali.
Exactly.
All right.
Lazima tutapika ugali.
I want to join Charity in maybe saying sorry to those who ever lost, but that's why the Realtor is always out big and broad, just to make sure that we bring to you light what you should know, and more so what you should not do when it comes to search and also verifying what you want to invest in when it comes to land, houses, because these are two major things that we major on this show. Now, Charity, as we wrap up, kindly, I would love you to tell us maybe in the shortest way possible, to tell us there's someone who is there and they don't have money to invest in land. There's this perception that land is very costly. I need hundreds of thousands for me to invest, and it may not be possible for me to save because of the obvious. Now, tell that person what they should do for them to acquire land.
Great. Youth there, you may have your small business. When it comes to investment, the bracket is not locked. Anyone can invest. And that is why we come up with, payment plans, flexible payment plans to cover the people who may be having a small income. I'm encouraging someone who is maybe doing a small kiosk. Don't feel like for you to own property that you have to have millions of money in the bank. In the first place, there are so many responsibilities. Kuweka pesa si rahisi. So the fact that you can do a deposit and have a flexible long period of payment, it means that for sure, so long as you can even do a deposit, you're an investor. You're entitled. That title belongs to you. Wow. So don't feel like you need to be a millionaire for you to own property. And again, land varies with the value. You can also budget your capacity and get land that suits your budget. Right. So again, it is not limited. So it is about you to get to where your budget fits. Again, the payment plans options. It's also something good for you. Yeah.
I think that's one of the best encouragements we've ever received on this platform, that it is possible for everybody who is out there and aspiring to own piece of land. In 30 seconds, Charity, your parting shot. Our time is up, I'm sorry. Face that camera, give us your parting shot. Great.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My parting shot is to encourage every person who feels like investing with us, investing in land, investing in property. Don't shy off. There are those obvious. We cannot run away from the reality that we have to invest for our generations. And I believe through Mr. Robert and your show that you've really learned a lot, and we'll be able to connect more and more and understand the nitty-gritties and the basics of why you should invest in property anytime.
You have it, your notebook, take care, because this is where we invest all this information and knowledge, because again, information is power, and that's why we are here to empower you.